Yeah. Uh, just a minute. Okay. Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Rijraj, and thank you so much for joining us for day two at Firebase for Web, 7 days training initiative under TechDrill, GDT Jalandhar. So, like yesterday, we talked about and Firebase hosting, like what is a Firebase and what are the different services and what are the services that we can use for the web platform, and then about the Firebase hosting, how we can deploy our web applications or web page over the Firebase. So now, today, I'm going to talk about Firebase hosting, specifically Google sign-in method. So, like I'm a Google developer expert for web technology and Firebase. Web developers technologies like PWA, Firebase, AMP, Google Chrome, and a lot of things. And I'm running a YouTube channel. So yeah, so yesterday there might be a possibility, like if you are from beginner level knowledge of HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, there might be a possibility. But like we covered yesterday in three things, like we have a three core fundamental of web, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So with the help of HTML, we can create a project structure, or we can create a structure of web page, and we can design with the help of design. We can design the web page with the help of CSS, and then if we want to add some functionality that we can use JavaScript. So, like after that, you're pretty much comfortable with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and yeah. So now I'll talk Firebase authentications. So what is a Firebase authentication? So yesterday we talk about Firebase authentications means we need to authenticate the user. Like whenever in a web page or a website, we need to add a functionality like login page, or maybe sign up page, sign in page, or login with Google, login with Facebook, or any other third party service provider. So same Firebase authentication is providing a same thing, like that of functions that you can use for authenticating the user. So with the help of Firebase authentication, that is they are providing a set of methods. Like if you want to authenticate the user with the help of email and password, you can call the method. Or if you want to authenticate the user with the help of Google account, GitHub account, Microsoft account, any other account, you can do that easily process. So this is a very fast implementations. Like we have we have a functions in C++, so we can create a functions of sum. So similarly in Firebase, we have a function for the authentication. We just need to trigger the function. So again, like Firebase works with n number of third-party service provider like Facebook, Google, Twitter, GitHub, and custom email. As well as you can authenticate the user with the your mobile number. So how we can create a like implement that logic? So first you need to create a account on Firebase, and then you need to create a project on Firebase, and then go to the authentications, and you have to enable the Firebase authentication for the Google, and then you need to register your new app and then you need to copy the SDK and then in the entire logic. So yeah. So this is a main important thing for the Firebase authentication for the Google. So we have a functions like whenever you are logged in with your Google account to the website. So there are two methods. First there will be a pop-up. Like whenever you click on a button, there will be a pop-up, and then you need to log in with your Google account. Or there is a one more method you can use, redirection method. Like whenever we have a Google button, like login with Google, and you click on a button, same URL, you will redirect to the Google page. And then after Google authentication, you will be redirect to the dashboard or any other like web page. So we have two methods for the Google authentication. First one is sign it with pop-up. Like there will be a pop-up window, and then we need to log in with your Google account. Or you can use redirect method. And the third one is like you can check the state, like for example, you have all logged in with your Google account. So then second time you will check the state whether the user is logged in or not. So if the user is logged in, so no need to show the login button. You can show the user details. So this is we can with the help of on state change method. And the last we have sign method for the user logout purpose. So we just need to call these method. So first we can call pop-up method for the authentications as a pop-up window, or we can go for the redirect method for there will be a redirection to the Google URL, or to check the state of the user whether the user is logged in or not. So we have to call on state change method. And then for logout, we have to use sign out method. That's it. So we'll implement one by one. So I will share my entire screen. Okay. So this is my web browser. So first we need to go to the Firebase. So I'll open the website firebase.google.com. And then we have a console. You just need to click on the console button, go to the console, and then click on a new project. So I will click create a new project. Maybe my project name is Firebase Auth Google. Okay, maybe here you can change the project ID. Maybe you can use Google. This is not available, so you can change Google to or something. Sign in. Already taken. Maybe you can use like maybe use I'm using TDG. And then click on continue button. And then we have options for the Google Analytics. Right now we are not using Google Analytics, so I will just disable this button and then click on create. And meanwhile, you have to install Node.js Firebase CLI. So for installing a Firebase CLI, you just need to install Node.js. So if you have already set up Firebase CLI, so it's okay. Or if you are a new user, so first you need to download a Node.js in your system. So this is a website URL for the Node.js. Just search Node.js and then you need to download LTS version. After downloading the LTS version, you just need to go the PowerShell or any other terminal that you are working on. And then you need to install Firebase CLI. It's just you need to type npm install -g Firebase -tools. So this is a command run after Node.js installation. So there is a this will give you the Firebase CLI. So I have already set up this thing in the previous video, previous day, yesterday. So this is my Firebase console. Yeah. So this is my Firebase console. Here we can create Android applications and iOS and web and game development related kind of things. So what I'll do first, I will create a new project. So I'll click on the web part. Right now we are working on web. So here, wait, yeah. So we'll type, maybe here you can type nickname, maybe Firebase Auth DDG. And then click on the register app, or you can also set up for the hosting and click on the registration application. Okay, so yeah, so click on the next and then press next and then next. Yeah, go to the console. So I have registered my applications, my application name inside a project, Firebase Auth-GDG. So like now we'll go to the authentication. Inside authentication, as I told you, like we have a lot of methods that you can authenticate the user with the help of there are third-party service provider. So we can authenticate the user with the help of email and password, or mobile number means the OTP, or you can authenticate the user with Google account, Play Store account, Game Center, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, Yahoo, Apple, and anonymous. So you can do that. So right now we are working on Google. So we have to enable the Google account, and then you can select the project name. Maybe you can add GDG. Uh, Maybe I can write TechDrill. It's optional app, and then you need to provide support mail. So add the support mail, and then click on the save button. Okay, so the step is very simple. We have to go create a project, and then we need to register our applications. Click on the add application and then web, and then you have to pass the name and then go to the authentication, and in the sign in method you have to enable Google sign in method, and that's it. So for the code part, we'll do the same thing for the hosting, like we can create a project. So maybe I'll create a folder like Firebase Auth, and I will drag and drop into the VS Code editor. Yeah, so this is my VS Code editor, and this is a folder of Firebase Auth. I'll go to the terminal. This is my terminal. Here, I will type a command. First, we need to authenticate the Firebase CLI. So I need to type Firebase login for authenticating the Firebase CLI. So this is an optional method. Like if you're already logged in with your Firebase CLI, no need to type Firebase login, but I have already logged out this account. So I need to log in with Firebase CLI. So I'll type press yes, and it will redirect to the method. So this is not a current tab. Yeah, so this one. So I will allow this account for the Firebase CLI. Okay, so my Firebase CLI is logged in with my Google account. So this is my ID. So I can clear the step. Okay. So now next step is we need to create a new project CLI. So we will initialize the project. So we'll type Firebase init for initializing the Firebase project. Okay, and then it will ask few things like, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I'm ready to proceed. And then we are selecting Firebase hosting. Right now, we have to host our web application. So we'll type hosting and then press enter. Either you can create an existing project or you can go for create a new project. So I have already created a project. My project name is Firebase Auth Google or project ID. So I'll click on use existing project. And yeah, so this one is my Firebase project. I'll press enter. And then we need to select the directory. As I told you yesterday, we have to select the directory where we can put our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. So I'll type public as a directory name and then press enter. And then we are not using single page applications. So I'll type press no. And for the GitHub CI/CD purpose, so we are not using CI/CD. So this is a by default step we did in yesterday. So we have a file in public directory. Inside we have two file 404.html, and we have an index.html. This is a by default file. And then we have a Firebase JSON file, which is a main configuration file for the Firebase hosting. Now we have two commands. First command is Firebase serve, and then we have a Firebase deploy. So I'll write Firebase serve for serving this project in local machine. Yeah, so it will give you the URL, local hosted URLs, which is a local host 5000. So I'll go to the local host and 5000. which is my project is working. This is the index.html file. This is a code for this. So now what we will do, we will remove this entire logic. So I will reload this page. Yeah, nothing. So again, as we know, like we can work on HTML. So we have a basic syntax for the HTML. Like we have HTML tag, and then we have a two section, body sections and head section. In the head section, we can define the property about the web page, like the title and metadata, description, and many more things. And then inside body, we can define the tags like heading, paragraph, and a lot of more things that will be visible to the user end. So here, let's suppose I will type Firebase Auth, and then with Google sign-in method, I will save, and then I will reload this page. So it's working properly in my web page. So this is right now on my local machine. So I can close this process with the help of Control plus C. And then if I want to deploy this into the Firebase, so I just need to type a command Firebase serve, or not Firebase, Firebase deploy, sorry. With the help of Firebase deploy command, your public directory will be uploaded into the Firebase server. So yeah, so we have a two file, index.html and then 4040 4.html. It will be uploading into the Google data center, and yeah, version is ready. And this is a URL. So you can copy the URL. I will copy this URL, and yeah, here I can paste. It's working properly. So this is how we can host our website with the help of Firebase. So now we now will go for the authentication part with the Google sign-in method. So we will create a button where we can add a name like login with Google, and we can add a functionality for the login. So first we'll go to the project, and then we have a settings. So click on the project setting, and inside project setting, you just need to scroll down, and then we have Firebase SDK code snippets. So this is a Firebase SDK code snippets, or you can go for the CDN. So this is a part of Firebase code snippets. So I will copy this code, and we have a this is a JavaScript code. So we have to copy before closing the body tag here. I will paste it. So I will format this document. So my code look like this one. So again, what I'm doing, so this is my Firebase project console. I'll go to the setting, project setting, and then in the general tab, I need to scroll down and then click on the CDN, and then you need to copy this code, and you have to paste before closing the body tag. So this is a body tag before closing the body tag. I have pasted here. Okay, so again, I need to serve this project for the local machine. So I will type Firebase for the testing, serve. Uh, okay. Yeah, so till that, do you have any questions? Yeah. Okay, so we have a local URL for the testing purpose. So I will reload this page. Yeah, it's working. And this is my Firebase SDK file. We have a API key, auth domain, project ID, storage bucket. So yeah, and this is the main JavaScript library for the Firebase. So right now we are going to implement Firebase authentication. So what we have to do first, we need to go to the documentation, click on the documentation, and then you have to go for or get started for the web, and then get started for web. In the sidebar there is a SDKs like add Firebase SDK and initialize Firebase project. So there is a tab, so you just need to go this tab and then click on from CDN available libraries, or this one, uh, libraries. Yeah. Yeah, so you just need to scroll down and you have to search available libraries. So we have available libraries for the CDN. So we have authentication library. I will just copy the part for the authentication and I will paste below the main Firebase Core SDK. Okay. So same step, I'm doing the same step. Like I'll go to the documentation and then click on get started for the web. And there is a sidebar and then click on available libraries, second last button. And then you have to click on available libraries, JavaScript SDK from the CDN. So this is the CDN file. So I will copy the authentication part. Okay, so yeah, so this is done. Also in yeah, my web, this is working. So I'll go to the browser and I will reload this page. Yeah, it's working. And this is a hosted URL. I can close. Now we can create a button. So we can create a button. So we'll create a button BTN button tag, and inside we can add a value. So login with Google. So this is a button, login with Google. Now we need to perform some actions. When I click on this button, we need to perform some actions or call some methods. So we can create a ID. This is ID. Here we can add sign in. Okay. Yeah. So in the signing, this is a JavaScript code. So this after this line, we can perform. Can call the when I click on this button, we need to call this method. So first I'll type document. This is a document. This is the entire document. Inside we'll type document.getElement by ID. So this is a document. I need to collect the ID of XYZ DOM. So here I will need to pass the ID. So this is ID. So I need to collect the DOM element whose ID is signing. And then we need to perform some actions. So we have add event listener, and inside we can pass two parameters. First parameter is name of the actions. We have a name of the actions is click, and then on this click we need to call a method. So we can call a method like call Google Auth is a method name. Method means functions. So I will create a functions call Google Auth. That's it. So again, the same step, like I have created a button and then I have provided ID. ID is sign in. And then we need to perform some actions. So we have to write document. Inside document, I need to collect the DOM element whose ID is signing. And then I need to perform some actions. So we have to use add event listener as a method. And inside we need to pass two parameters. First is name, actions name. So I will click on this button. So action name is click. And then we need to call this functions like on when I click on this button, we need to call a functions. So this is a function name. And here I'm defining a function name. So I will write console.log. I can print the log like something working something. So I will reload this page and I'll go to the inspect element, and then we have a console tab. And when I click on this button, it's working properly. Yeah. So do you have any doubt till now? Like this is very easy for the JavaScript, like if you know. Or we can call this method by there is a attribute on click method inside button. You can call that method also, or you can use this method. Okay. So we need to perform the action like logic for the Google Auth. So first inside Google, Google Auth. So in the slide, first, as I told you, like we have a two methods, sign in with pop-up or redirect method. So right now we will implement sign in with pop-up method. So for sign in with pop-up method, first you need to define a Google Auth provider. So provider is just like as a service, like I'm using Google Auth service, so I need to define Google Auth provider as a object, so which is defined in a Firebase. So this is a Firebase. Inside Firebase, we have a auth provider. So we have to create the Firebase auth provider. So I'll go to the documentation so that it will be easy to for you to understand the documentation. So we have authentications. Yeah, this one is authentication. So we are using web platform. So I'll click on the web, and then we have Google sign-in method. So this is a Google sign-in method. So this is the documentation. So yeah, so it will like there is a documentation. First, you need to initialize the Firebase Google Auth provider. So this is a Google Auth provider. I will copy this logic and I will paste it here. So this is a Google Auth provider. Like right now, I'm working on Google Authentication, so I need to create an object which will provide Google Authentications kind of service. And then we have a method in the slide, like method name is sign in with pop-up. So first we will type Firebase. So inside Firebase, we have a auth, like right now I'm using authentications. So we have a auth is a predefined like property inside Firebase as an object. And then we have method name is sign in with pop-up. So I'll type sign in with, it's a camel case. Yeah. So here you have to pass the provider, and that's it. Okay. So we have a Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentication. So we have to use auth. And then we have a method sign in with pop-up. So you can check here, like this is an optional step. And then we have a pop-up method. So this is a sign in with pop-up method. So this is I will copy and paste, same thing. Yeah. Okay, so this is a method. It will return a promise in the JavaScript. What is a promise? Promise is just like is a like whenever we something call any function, it will give you the callback, something kind of thing. So, for example, like if if you click on the sign in with pop-up, like if we call this logic, so there will be a window, pop-up window where you need to authenticate the user. So if the user is successfully authenticated, so you will get the result. So result is a kind of callback. So result is an object. You can print this object. So we have a callback. So we can perform JavaScript arrow functions. So this is the arrow functions, and that will return like as a callback, and you need to perform actions. So same thing, like we have credential. I'll give you the details. So we have a result as a callback. So we can print as a result, res. If the user is successfully logged in with your Google account, we can print the result. And if there is any issue or error, we can print in the catch block, and we can print with the help of console.log. That's it. So 3 lines of logic, we can perform Google authentications. So first we need to create an instance like Google Auth provider, and then we need to call a functions. So we are using Firebase. Inside Firebase, we have a auth, and then we have a method Firebase sign in with pop-up, and then we need to pass this provider. This is a JavaScript promise. So if the user will logged in successfully, then it will return a callback. Callback is just like as a object. Okay, return a functional kind of object. And like Google will give you the details about the user. So this is a result. Inside we have a details about the user. So I will save, and I will reload this page, and I click on this button. So there is a pop-up. Yeah, my internet is a little bit slow. Yeah. So we have a window, pop-up window, and then it will ask you to authenticate the user. So I will click on my email ID. Okay. So this is the details. So this is a result. Like if the user is successfully logged in, so this is a result. Okay. So this is the object. Inside object, we have a user. Like in a JavaScript, we can create an object. So this is a result object, and then we have a properties. So these all are the properties like additional user info and credential. Credential that we can use for accessing other Google services. Like if you give you the permissions, if you logged in with your Google account, and with the help of this access token, you can give this to the Google Calendar, Google Gmail, or Google Drive with the help of this token. Okay, so right now I'm interested with the user. This is a property. Inside we have a details like display name, email ID, email is verified. There are a lot of details that you can use. So what I can do, this is an object, and I need to print object dot user because this is a property. So I'll copy and result dot user. I will reload this page, and again, or first, yeah, we need to log in with Google account. Okay, so I already logged in with my Google account, and this is a user object. Inside user object, we have a key. Again, this is an object inside an object. Like we have a user, like we can create a variable where user info is equal to res dot user, and we can print dot user info. So same thing. I will reload this page. Yeah. So I will log in. I'll give my permissions, and yeah. So this is my, I have logged in with my Google account. This is the details like display name, format, email ID, email is verified, photo URL, phone number, like phone number, you will not get the phone number. This is a UID. We will use this UID for the accessing other Firebase services. So if you go to the Firebase Authentication tab, like, and then we have a like user, like currently I have logged in with my tech format email ID, and right now I'm using provider is Google Auth provider, which is this one. And then I have created this account on this web applications on this date, and last sign in and the UID user, which is unique user ID. We can use this user unique UID for accessing other services uh, like for example, you can perform some operations like only authenticated user will add the data into Cloud Firestore. So then you need to use UID. Okay, so this is easy again. Do you have any questions? Yeah, this is simple, I think. Yeah, here we left it. This was not yet. Okay, so yeah, I have already logged in, but yeah, whenever I reload this page, I have already logged in, but I need to log in again and again and again. So what we can do, we can check the state whether the user is logged in or not. So what we can do, like if you can go to the, like I have created a documentations or docs like Firebase for web. I will share the URL. So we have documentation for the email and password. So there is a same method that we can use. So I will paste it here, and then we have a method like in the slide as well as on state change method. So we have a, yeah, so we have to call this state method. So like what we'll do, we will create a functions to check the state, check state user. So like it will, we will call this function first, like for checking the users, whether the user is logged in or not. So I'll type Firebase. Inside Firebase, we have a auth, and then inside auth, we have a function on auth state change. So this is a method, and this is again a JavaScript promises. When we call this method, it will return a state or as a callback. It will return a user. So you can print the user. Like first, you can check if the user as an object is available. So you can print the user like console.log, and then you can print the user. Else you can do nothing. And then we can call functions. So functions. So I need to call this JavaScript function. So I will here and call this function. So I will reload this page again. I'll not, I have not clicked on the login page. It will already, it will automatically give you the details because I have already logged in with my Google account. So it will give you the user data. This is a user. Okay. So, so now what we will do. So do you have any confusion as of now in the Firebase authentication?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, like we have created Google authentication, so we can create like there are predefined functions for creating register and login, or just one function can be used for both, like for registration, registering the user on that web app and
For
for
Google,
login.
yeah, yeah, for Google authentication, there is only one method for authenticating. But if you want to implement a functionality like sign up with email and password, like that thing I will talk about tomorrow. Like you can authenticate the user, like you can create an account with the help of email and password. There is a method sign up with email and password, and similarly, we for the login we have a method sign in with Google, just like sign in with email and password. Sign up and sign in. There is a method.
And sir, like
Okay.
does this
So yeah,
sorry, sir, one more thing. Sir, like, does this method,
yeah,
the promise of JavaScript, contain all the things we need? Like, for example, if we write by our own the authentication method, then we have to check whether that Gmail exists or not. Or so all these things are already included in this Firebase authentication method.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So now we will create a simple web app. Like we have a one page. Like this is a main home page, and then we have a button sign in with Google. Okay. So when we click on the user sign in with Google, and then we need to display the user informations. Like maybe we can display the user profile, like a user photo, username, and some more details like email ID, and there is a button for the logout. Okay, so there is a two screen. We will create a two screen. So this is an index.html file, and we can use Bootstrap. So if you are working on Bootstrap, Bootstrap is very easy, or we can create that UI without Bootstrap. So what I'll do, I will create a two div element. So first div element is for the user login. So I'll define a ID like user login screen. So I'll add some h1 like user login screen, and I will create another div element for the result. This one. So I will add ID user log info. Okay, so here we have user info. Okay, so I will remove this one. I can pass this button in this part, this section. So I will reload this page. So we have a two sections, user login screen and user info. Okay, so we can design, you can add some CSS part, you can do that. But right now I'll show you the details like of the user. So we can add a div, and here we can perform some ID like user info. And inside user info, I can pass the user details. So like whenever we click on whenever we like call the check state method, it will give you the user. Or when we click on the Google Auth provider as a method, then it will again will give you the user info. So what I can do, I can create a map again of functions like for displaying the data. So I will create functions like display user info, and it will take user as an object. So we can call this method here user. Okay. So we will not print user here. We will print console.log, print the user here. So yeah, so we can add like console.log. This method is calling or not. We just can test display user info function working. I will save, I will page, and yeah, so display user info is working, and then we have a details. So now we can print the data in this particular div section. So we can do that. So this is a div element whose ID is a user info. So again, we will write document dot get element by ID. I need to access that document DOM element whose ID is user info. So this is user info. So here I will pass the ID. So this is a div element. I can access the div element. Inside this div element, I need to add some like details. Inner HTML, we can add some HTML element. So now what we can do, we can add a element like in double quotes, we can add paragraph. We can close the paragraph, and then we can provide the details. Like this is a user as an object. Inside user, we have like this is object having a key value pair. So this is a proper photo URL display name. So I'll just copy the display name. So I'll type user dot display name. So this is a double quotes. We can concatenate the string, like we can pass user dot display name, and that's it. So I will reload this page. So after a second, you will get the tech format as a details. So again, like you can create added email ID. So you can pass the email ID user.display, not user.display. So for email ID, we have a field email. I will change email. Yeah. So tech format, this is the email ID. Same as we can print the photo URL. So we have a photo URL as a method. So what we do, like before the P, we can add image img. Here we can pass src, and again this we need to concatenate the string because this is a URL, photo URL. So I'll copy this photo URL, or I can pass the variable here. So variable is user dot this one, and image is auto like save, and then reload this page. Yeah, so this is an image for my Google account. So we can pass some styling, we can do that. So right now I'm using double quotes. So this is not easy for writing a code. So rather than using double quotes, you can use like this symbol tilde symbol, or you can just type on screen keyboard like below the screenshot, like this one. So you can just type this symbol and you can write entire logic in multi-line string with the help of this symbol. This is a part of ES ECMAScript for creating a multi-line string template details. So with that, like we can create a paragraph, and then we can add like user name, and then we can print the variable. So for printing a variable in multi-line string template, we have to use dollar symbol and curly braces. So this is a dollar symbol and then curly braces, and then you need to pass user as an object. Inside user, we have display. So we have a display name as a property key. Same for the email ID. So I will copy and I will paste for the email ID, and I will change email. And same for the image. So I'll create an image tag having a src as an attribute. Inside src, we can pass the variable. So multi-line string, we have to use user dot this URL is photo URL. So I'll copy and I will paste it here. It's working properly. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but like I have already logged in, but again, this is button is visible. So what we can do, we can perform some CSS operation with the help of JavaScript. Like if the user is already logged in, so we can hide this screen. So how we can? So first, this is a two screen having a ID like user login screen and user info screen. So first, by default, in general case, like if the user is not logged in, so user is not logged in. So what we have to show, we have to show the login screen and we have to hide this screen. So we have to, the by default value for the user login screen will be true. So how we can achieve? So we can write maybe here. So we'll write document dot get element by ID. Here we can pass the ID, and then dot style dot display, and display is equal to block. Here you can pass the value, and that's it. And in general case, like I need to hide this div element. So this ID is user info screen. So I have to hide. So I'll write display is equal to none. Yeah. Now, like we have to change the value. Like we have to play the game with this value. So if the user is successfully logged in, yeah. So if the user is successfully logged in, what we have to do? We have to hide this one screen, and we have to show the this screen block, and that's it. We will reload this page. Yeah, it's working properly. Okay, now we can create a functionality for the logout. So what we can do, yeah, maybe here we can create a button for the logout. So we can add logout, and we can perform actions like we can pass a ID, log out btn, and now we will perform actions on this button. So like here, same operations, we'll write document get element by ID. Here we can pass a ID for this button. We can perform actions listener, and then we need to pass the name of the event like click event CK, and then we need to perform logout operations. So we'll call, maybe you can call, just a minute, C is small. Maybe you can perform same thing, call log out user. Okay, so you can call this logout user. So what you can do, you can create a functions maybe here. logout user, and then we need to call the method for the logout. So again, you can go to the documentation, just scroll down, and maybe here we have for logout. So we have a Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentication. Then we have a sign out as a method, and this is a JavaScript promise, and it will give you the like user will be logout. Okay, so same thing, we will write Firebase. Inside Firebase, we have a authentication, and then we have a method sign out. So this is a method, and this is so if the that thing user is logged out successfully, it will return a callback. So we can print a callback or something. We can perform the options or logics. And if there is any issues or error, we can handle in catch block. So this is a catch block, and here we can print the logic console.log. We can print the error. So after logout, what we have to do, we have to show this screen, we have to hide this screen. So we'll write the same logic, I will copy and I will paste it here. So after logout, we have to show the login screen and we have to hide user details info. So I will reload this page. So this is by default a login screen. Yeah. So after a second, it will give you the details. And when you click on the log is logged out, and you directly redirect to the login screen, and that's it. So this is how you can perform Google authentications, Firebase authentication with this Google pop-up method. Now we can add some designing part, maybe here you can add a div, like to here perform, and we can add some details. So here maybe you can add some style, or we can add a class. Maybe class is container, and you can perform style. So this is a container class. Okay, inside container we can define some margin and padding, or we can define a background. So maybe for testing purpose we can add a background is red. So this is a red. So I can define a width. Let's suppose I want to define a width is 80%, not 80, maybe 50%. So width is 50%. We can center with the help of margin left and right. So we'll add margin left and margin right for auto. We'll save and then reload. So it's working properly. And yeah, so we can add some padding. So we can perform some padding. Maybe we can pass 4 pixels. Maybe you can pass 1 pixel. Yeah. Or you can define some margin. So we can perform some margin from the top. Maybe you can pass 3%. So there is a margin. And then you can add some border. So here we can add border. So I'm using Google standard. So we have a standard for the border. Remove this part, and I will reload this page. Yeah, it's working. And then we can define border radius, save, and then reload. So it's working. So you can design the entire logic or design the entire screen using okay. So yeah, so when I click on the login screen, there will be a pop-up, and then we are calling sign Google Auth with a pop-up method, this one. And it will give you the user provider. Now we want to deploy this inside the Firebase. So we can use Firebase Auth. Yeah. So we just need to type Firebase deploy. That's it for deploying this website. Yeah. So maybe it will take some time. So do you have any questions? Any other? Yeah, I think this is very easy for the Google authentications. You just need to perform few functions like sign up with pop-up, and for checkout, check whether the user is logged in. Then you need to call on state change method, or for logout you just need to call a method sign out. That's it. So yeah, my file is going to deploy. Mm, yeah. Okay, so this is a hosted URL. You can also log in with your Google account, and this is very safe. No, there will be no hack or something. Will not get any other like important details. So like Google is providing a limited information to the users, like we can get username or like display Google account name, email ID, whether the email ID is verified or not, or is it logged in by Google with an, or we can collect the metadata. So this is like creation time and last login time, and you just need to explore this user as an object and you can check it, and you can perform you can log in with your Google account. Yeah. Maybe you can go to the authentication and just reload this page. Maybe yeah, I'm the only one. You can log in with different screen. So any other questions? This is how we can perform Firebase authentication with Google account. So tomorrow I will talk about Firebase authentication with Google, like a custom sign, like we can register a user with the help of email and a password, and then we can delete the user, we can change the password, like our on custom sign in method with the help of Firebase authentication. Any other confusion? Yeah. Okay, so I'll share the resources, like you can check out these resources like Firebase for web. I'll share the URL. Go to the Firebase authentication with Google email and password, this one. And we have a repository you can check, maybe GitHub. I have a repository, I think, for the Firebase authentications, real-time database. Yeah, Google Auth. So you can check this repository, and I will share the video of, like maybe you can check, go to the Tech Ferment as a YouTube channel, and where I have a video for more info about Firebase authentications. Yeah, this one. So any other doubt, confusion, easy, or I think all clear?